Hey everyone, and welcome to Karen's Crate. My name's Fiona,
My name's Cory.
and welcome to February's cocktail series, Psyche's Metamorphosis. So, Karen's Crate is a monthly cocktail subscription box based out of Anchorage, Alaska, crafted by bartenders. So, let's get into it. Tell us about the ingredients in this month's crate.
So this month's crate is a really fun crate where we're in the middle of winter still in Alaska, but we're starting to see some longer days, some warmer days. So what we're doing is we're using an Irish whiskey based cocktail that's still going to be kind of a winter warming cocktail, but we're going to be incorporating some sort of spring and summer flavors into it as a hint of the promise of better days around the corner. So this cocktail series, Psyche's Metamorphosis, is going to be a base of Irish whiskey, and then we're going to be splitting two different types of Baron Jaeger honey liqueur. We're going to be using a Baron Jaeger honey and tea with a Baron Jaeger honey and pear to give the cocktail a little bit of complexity.
I like it.
Now, the really kind of one of the two fun ingredients that we're going to be using is going to be our bittered hibiscus rooibos syrup. Now, we made the syrup as a split of both hibiscus and rooibos tea to give it kind of that floral flavor, but still use tea in a way that keeps it rich, keeps it earthy, and kind of plays into the whiskey and the honey. For one of the cocktails, we're going to be using some lemon juice. And then the really kind of fun, interesting, unique ingredient that we're going to be using with this cocktail as well is butterfly pea flower tea. Now, butterfly pea flower tea is a natural indigo blue after you steep it. This beautiful, rich, brilliant blue. But the really unique thing about this ingredient is that when you incorporate it into an acid, it has a color changing kind of transformative aspect to it where you introduce it to lemon juice or another acid. It's going to change from that dark blue to almost a pink or a purple. And then if you do introduce it to hibiscus, you almost get this rich, fiery red color out of it. So that's something that's going to be really fun that we use with this cocktail is we use just a little bit of this butterfly pea flower tea at the end to really kind of up the aesthetic value of the cocktail and give it just a really beautiful presentation. And if we do it right, it's almost going to kind of have an aurora borealis sort of effect to it.
Really playing into the metamorphosis of
Really
the
playing into
cocktail.
the metamorphosis.
I love it. So, what kind of garnishes will we be using tonight?
So with the garnishing for this cocktail series, we've got a couple different things that we're going to be doing. Now with the proper and the elevated, the butterfly pea flower is kind of the star of the show. However, to kind of play into the flavors and to add some more elements to it, we're going to be garnishing the rim on the proper with a citric acid infused hibiscus sugar powder that's going to give it kind of a sour gummy sort of presence. Then we're going to lay some lavender aromatics over the top of it to really give it those floral notes, and then finish it off with some dehydrated lemon just to kick up the garnish a notch.
It looks gorgeous and sounds amazing. I am ready to make some cocktails.
You ready to make some
I
cocktails?
don't know about you.
Yeah, I think it's time to make some
I
cocktails
think
and
it
have
is
some
time.
drinks.
So, what one are we going to be starting with tonight?
So we're going to be starting with the proper version of Psyche's Metamorphosis. Now we need to do a little bit of pre-prep to the glassware before we make the cocktail. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of our lavender aromatic, and to keep a really kind of clean garnish on the rim, we're just going to spray some of that aromatic on a paper towel.
It smells so good.
And we're just going to moisten the rim of that glass with those lavender aromatics. We'll get that nice and clean. And then we make our cocktail. So for this build, we're going to be starting with 1.5 ounces of the Irish whiskey. And we're going to follow that up with a split of 1/4 ounce of the Baron Jaeger honey and tea, 1/4 ounce of the Baron Jaeger honey and pear, And then kind of in our classic sour structure of an 8:4:3 ratio of spirit to acid to sugar, we're going to be doing 3/4 ounce of our bittered hibiscus rooibos.
That looks so rich.
Oh, it's a
I'm
beautiful
so
color.
excited.
Beautiful color. And that is followed up with an ounce of lemon juice. Now, to give the syrup a little bit of complexity and some bitterness, not only did we lengthen our steep time of the tea, but we did also add some bitters directly into the syrup to really give us some depth and some balance. So at this point, we're ready to add ice to our shaker and give it a shake. All right, we're just going to be doing a standard bar shake for any sort of shaking cocktail that we're going to do. Give it a really nice shake. Get it nice and frothy. Good dilution, nice chill. Oh, look at the color of that.
It is.
So now, what we're going to do,
We're busting out the tongs for this one.
we are busting out the tongs. We're going to throw a large rock into the glass. Now, we could be using just standard cubed ice for this as well. But for this presentation, we are going to just start with a base of a large cube.
That color is so pretty.
Yes. I'm going to strain the cocktail over the cube.
And we're going to top it with some crushed ice.
And we're going to top it with crushed ice.
Uh-huh.
Now, the reason that we're going to do this is because this is going to give that a really nice layer for the butterfly pea flower to kind of sit on top of. Now, a little goes a long way with the butterfly pea flower.
Oh, wow, that really is blue. Like,
So we're only going to use a quarter ounce.
blue.
And then we're going to slowly pour that around just inside the rim of the glass.
That is so cool.
As you can see, as that sinks down into the cocktail, you do start to get that transformation because we are using the lemon and the hibiscus. From that blue down into you get the purples and the reds.
That is so gorgeous.
All right. And we're just going to finish this off with a little spritz of the lavender aromatic over the top of the cocktail. Kind of enhance the olfactory sense of the cocktail. And then we're going to finish that with a couple dehydrated lemons.
Wow, that is.
And there we have it.
So cool.
That is the proper version of Psyche's Metamorphosis.
I love how it turns purple and just like it rests just right on the top there. Like, now time for the best part, y'all.
Now's the most important part.
Oh yeah, it's very like the juiciness of it is like it's so rich, and then you get that little bit of the sour from the sugar rim. Like it really has like a lot of the Sour Patch Kid qualities to it, and like still just that little delicateness with the floral notes. Like really delicious.
But
like
you still have that depth to it. You know, it's a little bit deceptive being sort of a bright colored cocktail.
It definitely has that. Like it's almost spring, but it's still a little winter because it's got that richness to it. Like, yeah, this one.
Indeed.
This one will definitely get the ladies for sure. All right. So
well, are you ready to do the elevated version?
I absolutely am. I'm excited to see how this yogurt is going to plan out.
Absolutely.
This cocktail.
All right. Well, you're up.
All right.
So for this cocktail, we are going to be using the Poco Grande style glass, more of a tiki style glass, just because it's going to hold the cocktail very well.
So what are we starting out with?
Where we're starting out, we're going to be doing pretty much the same build that we did for the proper cocktail. So we're going to be doing 1.5 ounces of the Slain Irish whiskey. And then we're going to be, again, splitting that Baron Jaeger honey and tea and the Baron Jaeger honey and pear.
Ooh, that does smell so nice.
And those honey flavors just link the lemon with the hibiscus and tea with the whiskey, and just really rounds out the cocktail and brings a really nice complex balance to it. You just get a little bit of the hint of those pear notes underneath, but we don't want that to be a really prevalent flavor. That's something that we just want to kind of use as an accent in this cocktail.
Yeah. All right.
All right, then we're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of our hibiscus rooibos.
All right. This is like, almost looks like dragon's blood.
Yeah, it came out a very beautiful, rich color from that hibiscus.
And the consistency of it too is like...
Sure. You know, and we did end up, when we made this, we did end up throwing a little bit of citric acid infusion into it, just to kind of brighten it up a little bit so it wasn't quite as cloying. So now what we're going to be doing is adding the ice before we add the yogurt. Now the reason that we do this is yogurt, when added to kind of an acidic element, will have a tendency to curdle. So we want to prevent that as much as we possibly can in the cocktail before we actually shake it and incorporate that yogurt into the cocktail. The other thing that we do like to do with a yogurt-based cocktail will be to use like a whole milk or like a higher fat content yogurt, typically whether it be a Greek yogurt or a traditional yogurt, because that, number one, gives it a little bit more of a creamy consistency and does prevent that ingredient from curdling. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to add the ice to it.
All right.
Just a couple more cubes.
Just a little bit more. All right, now we got a nice...
And now we add the yogurt.
All right, and how much yogurt are we putting in?
So we're going to be putting an ounce of yogurt into it, kind of like we do with lemon juice, which is the equivalent of 2 tablespoons.
All right.
So just give that a nice tap in there. So this is one of those rare times that we do add ice before we add any additional ingredients. Typically, whenever we're making cocktails, ice is the last thing that we want to add, because once you add ice, your cocktail has a shelf life. So, but with this one, we'd much prefer to maybe deal with a little bit more dilution than having the yogurt curdle, which is why we do that.
All right. So what kind of shake are we going to be doing for this one?
So we're still going to be doing more of a classic bar shake like we do for a sour structure cocktail. But you really want to get into it and make sure you're really getting that ice to really travel in your shaker, to make sure that we're incorporating all of that yogurt into the ingredients.
I'm really working for this one, guys.
The payoff's going to be there. It's going to be there.
I'm excited.
Good.
Ooh, and it's still got that nice pink color too.
It does. Now we're going to strain this before we add the ice into the cocktail.
Kind of like we did last month.
Yes. They're very similar, especially when we're using crushed ice. We want that to be the very last thing that we add. Oh, you do get that beautiful pink color. And we'll give that a good shake and just make sure we get every last drop in there. So yeah.
Still a little love left in there.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Now we're going to fill that to the top with the crushed ice.
All right.
And again, with this one, the fuller we can kind of get it with that crushed ice, the better that butterfly pea flower is going to sit on top of that cocktail.
All right.
So we're going to add about 1/4 ounce of the butterfly pea flower. And again, when we strain this, we're just going to start right on the inside lip and just pour that right around the outside of the cocktail.
This is such a pretty color blue. Like, so gorgeous.
It is. Well, and pea flower has been used for centuries for its medicinal benefit, and as well as being used as a natural indigo dye for both food and clothing.
Oh, yeah. That
There we
is
have it.
so sick. Love it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now we're going to hit that with one of our aromatics. We're just going to get that lavender over the top.
Just one little shot or two?
Yeah, let's give it one little good shot. There you go.
There we go.
Perfect. Now we didn't use the sour hibiscus sugar on this one because we're kind of allowing the yogurt consistency to really sort of be the star in this. However, if you were interested in doing it, it would be a good addition to it. However, with this one, we just decided not to.
All right.
But it's your cocktail, so feel free.
So we're doing 2 of these?
We're going to finish that off with 2 of the dehydrated lemon wheels.
These turned out so great. Like little stained glasses.
Yeah, all of the ingredients are made here in Anchorage.
That just
And
looks
there it
so
is.
cool. You were not kidding about the Aurora Borealis effect on the cocktails.
Yeah,
this
it really
month.
kind of gives it that Northern Lights cocktail, or
Yes.
that Northern Lights kind of vibe. And even if, for all 4 cocktails, even if you're using you'll use an ounce total of what we provided. So you have a lot left to play with. So feel free to mess around with it.
That's exciting.
It's a really fun, unique ingredient.
That just looks so gorgeous.
Well, here's the most important part, though.
Yes, my favorite part. I'm pleasantly surprised at how the yogurt really changed. Like it's subtle, but it's there. But it has like a rich, palatable feel, but not like so rich. But it's still refreshing all at the same time.
Right. Well, and you're going to start to see the other ingredients in the cocktail show. And it should be noted, we are using an unsweetened, unflavored whole milk yogurt for this cocktail. We just want to use a yogurt kind of like we use an egg white to just adjust the texture. We're not really looking for the yogurt to really contribute flavor to the cocktail, but just kind of change the feel of it and the texture of the cocktail.
You know what it does kind of remind me of? It kind of reminds me of the Sobe from the 90s.
Oh,
You guys know
go.
which one I'm talking about.
There you go.
Excellent. Well, that
All
wraps
right.
up February's cocktail series for this month. We'd like to give a big thank you to La Bodega, and thank you everyone for your love and support. We wouldn't be here without you.
Yeah, this journey has been amazing. We're so excited to be doing this with everybody in Anchorage here in 2022. We've got our next crate is going to be available for pre-sale within the next week. And please share what you guys are creating at home with us through Facebook, through Instagram. If you're creating cocktails, your experiences, share them with us. We're at Charon's Crate across all social media platforms.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can join us on our journey while making your cocktails at home. We look forward to seeing you guys next month, and cheers.
Cheers, folks.
Thank you.